Welcome back to the channel. Uh, we're coming to you from inside Bowling Connection Pro Shop here, inside Golden Lanes in Simpsonville, South Carolina. If you know, you know. So have had a lot of requests about layouts. So we're going to go ahead and go over the dual angle layout. I'm going to try and explain the things kind of easier so that you understand uh, what layouts I'm putting on this ball. Um, and hopefully you can learn something. And when you go in to talk to your PSO, you guys can discuss a few things on what type of motion and things you're trying to see from that ball. Um, so here we go. Gonna get this over here and get it to where you all can actually see what I'm doing here. Um, all right, so what we have here is, put a light on here for you maybe. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. So we have of course, Jackal Ghost here. One of the goats. Um, Now with an asymmetric ball, you have one more spot on the ball here that you do not have on a symmetric ball. And this would be the mass bias. This is important part with laying out the asymmetric balls. So the first angle that you do when drilling out a dual angle ball is the drill angle. Now what this will determine is how early the core takes over going down the lane and how early the ball starts to read the lane. When you throw a ball, the first 10 to 15 feet of the ball is actually in a skid phase. You don't see that visually when you throw the ball, but if you actually took a video of yourself throwing the ball and slowed it down, you'll see that the ball is actually skidding on the surface with the oil. So how early you want that ball to get out of that skid into a roll is determined by the drill angle. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from the pin down through to the mass bias. With a symmetrical ball, you would just be drawing this line from the pin to the CG. Now, of course, we know with symmetrical balls, the first number really doesn't matter anymore. So you take the numbers for the drill angle, anywhere from 10 to 90 degrees. 10, of course, will get the ball into the earliest roll. So if you want the ball to get out of that skid real early and start rolling on the lane and seeing the lane early, you could use 10 degrees. Honestly, the lowest that I've ever gone is 20, 25. But you can go all the way up to 90, and something near 90 would get the ball skidding down the lane further before it starts to see the pattern. So on here, we'll go ahead and you set this right on the pin. You come over here, and we'll just do, let's say, a standard neutral is about 45. So you make a mark here, and I'm going to turn the ball around here so maybe you guys can see it. So there's the mark right there. Then you go ahead and take your protractor again, put it on the pin, right through that line, bring it on down. So there's your first angle, 45 degrees right there. All right, so now the second number is going to be the pin to pap. What this determines is the ball's flare potential. Not that it's going to flare that much, but just the potential for it to flare. 3 and 3/8 is the mass flare. No matter what ball you're doing, it gives the ball the most opportunity to flare. As you move left from that number and as you move right from that number, the flare potential goes down. Obviously, going up towards 6 kind of makes it a little rounder. Going down towards 0 makes it more a little bit right to left. So my normal is about 4. I rarely get near 3 and 3/8. 4 to 5 inch pins. I like the longer pins. So you put it on the pin once again, down that line that you already drew. Go ahead and mark where the 4 is. So this is where your PAP will be, right here on this line right here. So then the next line is the val angle. The val angle, what that determines is how quick the ball's going to rev up and transition off of at the break point. How quickly it's going to move off the break point. These numbers go anywhere from 20 all the way up to 70. So obviously, if you had 20 degrees, it would rev up the quickest and transition fastest at the break point. Get closer to 70, you're going to slow that transition down. So I like to go neutral once again, right around 45. So you go ahead and put the tractor right on that line where you had marked where your PAP is. You come up here, you find 45. So there's that mark right there. Draw a line through that and your PAP point. And now here's where your PAP, trying to get that from your PSO is important. If you don't know your pin to pat or your marking, then you're not going to be able to lay a ball out like this. So mine is 4.5 3/8 up. So this is where your PAP is going to be. So to get that to be 3 1/8 up, you actually have to go on the val angle and go down 3 3/8. Make a mark. Then come back over, line it up with your val angle, and come on over to 4.5, and then turn the ball. And on this mark here, line this up with the line you just drew. Draw a line here. If I could draw a straight line. All right. And this is going to be where your hand is. Now, of course, I know the distance between my fingers and my thumb is about 4 3/8, so I'll go down about 2 inches from there, from the center point of my palm of my hand. About 2 inches to 2.5 inches. And this is where my thumb is going to be. Now, so my thumb's going to be about right here. So this is about how my layout would look right about here with the pin just above my ring finger. So that is 45 by 4 by 45. Now with a asymmetrical ball, if you could see it here, yes, with an asymmetrical ball, the closer that the mass bias is to your thumb, and a lot of times we can put the thumb in the mass bias or the mass bias in the thumb, that will go ahead and get the ball down the lane a little bit further. The closer that this mass bias gets to your val line, which is this line we drew over here, the closer you bring this over to here in your layout, that will get the ball to read basically at your feet. It'll read real soon. So if I didn't know somebody's layout or their pin to pat, I would just go ahead and ask them what they're looking for in the ball. If you want the ball to go a little longer, you just go ahead and stick that mass bias right in the thumb. If they wanted to read a little sooner, you just kick it out to the right a little bit. Now, of course, that's only on asymmetrical balls, because actually the mass bias on a symmetrical ball is wherever the thumb is. So knowing your pin to pat is actually good when you're drilling a symmetric ball. So this would be a layout with 45 by 4 by 45. It would be standard for me. It would read the lane at the spot that I wanted to. Not have as much flare as obviously 3 3/8, and it would be a little bit smoother back end. Now, if I drop that val angle number down to say 25, then it would respond a little harder off the back end at the break point. And with the drill angle, which was the first angle, if I took that down to say 10, then it's going to read earlier towards me. But yeah, this is a standard layout for me. Once again, we have the drill angle, and you got the pin to pat and the val angle. But that's about it on dual angle layouts. If you have any questions on layouts, or you need me to explain something a little bit better, just go ahead and leave a comment down there in the comment section. Don't forget, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button and the notifications, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Thank you.